Welcome to another Refactor clinic video. In this video we're going to show an example of code that can be refactored to become better and more Pythonic and more maintainable and clean in general. So we're going to take a look at this example here. We have a function called 𝗦positive which takes in one parameter, which should be a number, and it checks if the number is greater than or equal to 0 and it returns true if so. Otherwise, if the number is less than 0, it will return false. And we call it with two values, 5 and -3, and we get true and false as we expect. Now, this function here can be simplified significantly. Well, it can be simplified quite a bit anyway, by realizing that what we're actually returning is a boolean. So if we were to use Python 3's typing constructs, we would denote that this function returns a boolean, true or false, and depending on a particular condition which is evaluated, in this case number being greater than or equal to 0, if that is true, we return true. Now that point allows us to do a bit of refactoring that makes this function quite a bit simpler. So the text we've got here, we are checking a condition and then we return true or false based on whether the condition itself is true or false. So this can be done much more succinctly, and we're going to rewrite this function now. So let me copy paste this function down here and I'll comment it out, and we'll redefine the function 𝗦positive, and it's going to take a number, and again it's going to return a boolean, and that's how you do that in Python. So what we're going to do is simply return whether or not the number is greater than or equal to 0. If it is greater than or equal to 0, it will evaluate to true, and that will return true, and that's exactly what we were doing before. If it's not greater than or equal to 0, it will evaluate to false, and then it will return false. So we've simplified 4 lines of code in the body of this function down to a single line of code that checks the condition and returns based on the truthiness of that condition. So if we execute the same code down here and check the 𝗦positive values, we get the same result as before, but this is a much neater and more concise function. So this kind of code is quite common in Python. You'll often find junior programmers who will check a condition and return the truth of that condition, but you can actually do that in a single line of code, and that's how you do that there. So that was a short and sweet refactoring episode. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.